Listen. Everyone wants success, respect, power, confidence, but no one wants to kill the version of themselves that's destroying. The weak version of you is not a stranger, it's your own reflection. It's the voice that says, let's do it tomorrow, it's too hard, I'm tired, what will people think? That version isn't just holding you back, it's silently murdering your potential. You want a new life? Then understand this truth. A new life requires a new you. Not the same habits, not the same excuses, not the same mindset. There is a warrior inside you, a disciplined, relentless, unstoppable version of you. But that version can't breathe because the weak you keeps living. So today, don't try to improve him. Don't try to negotiate with him. Don't try to heal him. Kill him. Kill the version that scrolls instead of studies. Kill the version that loves attention more than progress. Kill the version that breaks down instead of breaking through. Success isn't about who you become. Success is about who you stop being. Stop being the person who settles. Stop being the one who waits. Stop being the one who apologizes for wanting more. People say, I'll change when life gets easier. No. Life gets easier when you change. You're not tired. You're untrained. You're not lost, you're unfocused. You're not unlucky, you're undisciplined. Discipline is the weapon, mindset is the shield, focus is the path, and every day you wake up you choose the weak you or the powerful you, because only one of them survives. You are not born to be average. You are not born to live quietly. You were born to rise. So today, not tomorrow, make the promise, I kill every version of me that doubts me. Burn your excuses, destroy your fears, erase your limits. Let the world fear your potential. Let your past fear your future. And when you rise, rise as the person you were always meant to be. Stop negotiating with your excuses. Eliminate them. Listen carefully, because this is where most people fail. Every time you give in to an excuse, you are telling yourself that your potential has a limit, and that is a lie. Excuses are like chains wrapped around your ambition, slowly tightening with every compromise you make. They sound harmless at first. I'm too tired today, I don't have enough time, I'll start tomorrow. But they are deadly. They steal your energy, your focus, and your confidence, convincing you that comfort is more important than growth. Excuses are sneaky. They disguise themselves as reasons. They whisper to your mind that you are justified, that the world owes you an easier path, that success should come without struggle. But life doesn't work that way. Every person who has achieved greatness, every leader, every legend, every unstoppable human being, none of them waited for the perfect moment. None of them gave excuses a seat at the table. They understood that excuses are illusions, and illusions are meant to be destroyed. When you negotiate with an excuse, you are essentially bargaining with weakness. You are giving it power over your decisions, over your discipline, over your ability to create the life you want. Every time you say, I can't today, you are training your mind to accept mediocrity, to settle for less, to shrink back when challenge comes knocking. Excuses are cowardice dressed up as logic, fear disguised as reasoning, laziness wrapped in justification. To eliminate them, you must recognize them the moment they appear. You must name them, call them out, and refuse to let them influence your choices. Say no to the voice that whispers, you're not ready or you don't have what it takes. Say no to the comfort that asks you to postpone, delay, or avoid the hard work that builds strength. Excuses only thrive when you give them attention, when you allow them to linger in your mind, when you make them part of your story. If you are serious about killing the weak version of yourself, the first battlefield is within your own thoughts. The moment an excuse arises, attack it with clarity and discipline. Refuse to rationalize it, refuse to justify it, refuse to let it weaken your resolve. Every time you eliminate an excuse, you make room for action, for growth, for courage. You replace the I can't with I will, the maybe later with right now, the hesitation with decisive motion. Excuses are parasites, feeding on your doubt. But when you take control, when you choose action over justification, they wither, they lose their hold, they die. And every step you take without excuses strengthens the person you are becoming, fortifying your mind, sharpening your focus, and proving to yourself that weakness has no place in your life. Replace comfort seeking with hunger for growth. Comfort is the silent killer of potential, the invisible hand that keeps you chained to the life you know instead of the life you are capable of creating. Every time you choose ease over effort, Every time you take the path that requires the least resistance, you are feeding a version of yourself that will never rise, that will never dominate, that will never become extraordinary. Growth demands discomfort. Growth demands sweat, struggle, sleepless nights, and moments when your body, your mind, and even your soul scream for reprieve. But that is exactly the point. If it feels too easy, it is not growth, it is stagnation disguised as security. Hunger for growth is a fire inside that refuses to be extinguished by temporary pleasure or fleeting comfort. It pushes you to take the risks others avoid, to confront fears that others ignore, to do the work that everyone else calls too hard. It is the voice that says, I will endure the pain now to enjoy the power forever, the mindset that values long-term transformation over short-term satisfaction. Comfort lulls you into mediocrity. It whispers that waiting is safer, that patience in inactivity is wisdom, that delaying effort is harmless. But every second spent in comfort is a second your dreams are shrinking, your ambition is dying, your potential is slipping through your fingers. When you cultivate a hunger for growth, comfort becomes your enemy. You learn to see challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities, failure not as shame but as feedback, struggle not as punishment but as training. Hunger for growth rewires your brain. It conditions your heart. It strengthens your character in ways that comfort never can. It demands that you prioritize your evolution over your convenience, that you embrace discomfort as a sign that you are moving closer to greatness. It transforms waiting into action, hesitation into decisiveness, and doubt into determination. When you are hungry for growth, every setback becomes fuel, every criticism becomes a lesson, and every fear becomes a stepping stone toward the person you are destined to become. Comfort seeks to preserve the weak version of you, to keep you predictable and small. Hunger for growth seeks to destroy the weak version, to forge resilience, courage, and relentless ambition, turning every challenge into an opportunity to level up beyond what you ever imagined possible. Discipline is a daily choice, not a personality trait. So many people think discipline is something you are born with, like a gift or a natural talent, but that is a lie that keeps millions trapped in mediocrity. Discipline is not an innate quality. It is a decision you make, moment by moment, second by second, to prioritize your long-term growth over temporary comfort. Every action you take, every small choice you make throughout your day either strengthens your discipline or weakens it. When you wake up early despite wanting to sleep in, when you push through fatigue to do the work no one sees, when you say no to temptations that distract you from your goals, you are not showing that you are disciplined, you are choosing discipline. It is not about being perfect or never failing, it is about consistently returning to the path even when your mind screams to quit. Discipline is forged in repetition, in showing up when nobody is watching, in committing to what must be done rather than what feels comfortable or convenient. It is built in the small victories, choosing to train when tired, choosing to focus when distracted, choosing to act when fear wants you to retreat. Every day presents hundreds of choices that test your commitment to yourself. And each time you choose the path of effort over ease, you strengthen a muscle that no external force can break. People admire those who are disciplined, but they fail to see the daily battles fought in silence, the quiet refusal to surrender to laziness, the relentless self-control exercised in private moments. Discipline is not a label, it is an action, it is living by your principles when it is inconvenient, it is doing what must be done regardless of how you feel. It is the recognition that your future self depends entirely on the decisions you make today, that the life you dream of cannot be handed to you, it must be earned consistently. And the beauty of discipline is that it compounds. Every choice to persist, every decision to resist distraction, every commitment to show up builds momentum, turning small, seemingly insignificant acts into unstoppable power. It is not about waiting for motivation to appear. Motivation is fleeting and unreliable. Discipline is choosing action even when motivation has left, even when the world around you tempts you to stop. It is choosing excellence over comfort, effort over excuses, progress over stagnation, every single day, without fail, without negotiation, without apology. Your future demands a new identity, not old habits. Too many people believe they can achieve greatness while holding on to the routines, thoughts, and behaviors that have kept them small, stuck, or mediocre. But the truth is The life you desire is not built on yesterday's patterns. It is built on who you decide to become today. Every habit you cling to that no longer serves your growth is like an anchor, pulling you back into the same cycles, the same mediocrity, the same version of yourself that is unprepared for success. Your future self, the version of you that commands respect, achieves greatness, and lives without limits, requires a complete transformation in identity. It demands that you see yourself differently, speak differently, act differently, and think differently. The weak version of you thrives in familiarity. It wants you to keep eating, sleeping, scrolling, and settling in the comfort zone that feels safe but accomplishes nothing. But the person your future needs does not seek comfort, does not negotiate with fear, does not allow excuses to dictate action. That person is deliberate, disciplined, and relentless. To step into that future, you must shed the identity of the person who procrastinates, who doubts, who fears rejection, and who allows life to happen instead of making it happen. You must stop identifying with habits that limit your growth and start identifying with values, actions, and mindsets that propel you forward. Every thought, every decision, every routine you engage in daily must align with the version of you that you are becoming. The coffee, the excuses, the negative conversations, the wasted hours, everything that once defined your days must be examined, questioned, and replaced if it does not serve the new you. A new identity is not just about setting goals, it is about living as the person who achieves those goals every single day, regardless of obstacles. It is about internalizing strength, courage, and resilience so deeply that your old habits feel foreign, irrelevant, and powerless. Your future cannot be built on habits that kept you safe, small, or comfortable. It must be built on habits that challenge, transform, and elevate you beyond what you ever imagined possible. Every action that aligns with your new identity strengthens it, and every action that aligns with the old weak self weakens it. Transformation is not occasional. It is consistent, it is deliberate, and it demands that you make choices that your past self would never understand. To step into greatness, you must fully commit to becoming someone your old habits cannot recognize or contain. Someone who moves forward with purpose, clarity, and unstoppable momentum. Weakness is not your enemy, your attachment to it is. Too many people fear their weaknesses as if they define who they are, as if admitting them would make them less capable, less worthy, less human. But weakness in itself is not the problem. It is the natural part of being alive, learning, and growing. The real danger lies in holding on to it, in identifying with it, in letting it dictate your choices, your mindset, and your identity. When you cling to weakness, you give it power over you. You make it a permanent resident in your mind, a constant excuse, a shield for inaction, and a reason to settle for less. People say, I can't because I am not strong enough, or I will never change because this is who I am. That is not weakness speaking, that is attachment to weakness. Every time you use a weakness as justification for stagnation, you are cementing a version of yourself that is small, limited, and fearful. But imagine for a moment if you saw weakness as neutral, as a signal, as a guidepost rather than a verdict. Weakness becomes a teacher, a mirror, a tool for transformation the moment you stop clinging to it. It is not meant to define you. It is meant to challenge you, to provoke growth, to push you into action. When you stop attaching yourself to weakness, you stop giving it the authority to control your life, your emotions, and your decisions. It ceases to be a weapon and becomes a stepping stone, a catalyst for building strength, resilience, and mastery. Attachment to weakness makes you fragile in ways that reality will exploit. Letting go of that attachment turns fragility into power, fear into courage, limitation into potential. Weakness is temporary, fluid, and manageable. But when you identify with it, it feels permanent, suffocating, and insurmountable. The moment you release the need to protect it, to justify it, to defend it, you open yourself to growth, learning, and transformation. Weakness is not the enemy. It is the mirror reflecting what needs attention. The enemy is the comfort of hiding in it, the safety of blaming it, the illusion that it is part of your identity. And the liberation comes the moment you stop feeding that attachment, the moment you see weakness as a tool rather than a label, the moment you act despite it, the moment you refuse to make it your story, your identity, or your limitation. Pain is a signal of transformation, not a reason to quit. Too often people mistake pain for a sign that they are failing, that they are weak, that they are not meant to achieve what they desire. But the truth is that pain is not the enemy. It is a messenger, a teacher, a guide pointing you toward growth. Every ache, every struggle, every moment of discomfort is your body, your mind, and your spirit telling you that you are breaking old patterns, challenging limitations, and moving beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. Pain is the fire that forges resilience, the hammer that shapes character, the pressure that reveals strength you never knew existed. Those who quit at the first sign of pain will never know what lies on the other side, because transformation is never painless. Every person who has achieved greatness, every human being who has conquered fear, built empires, or changed the world has walked through pain, not around it. Pain is proof that you are trying, proof that you are stretching, proof that you are alive and in the process of becoming something greater. It is not a signal to stop, it is a signal to adjust, to adapt, to endure, to push harder than you ever thought possible. When your muscles ache, your mind questions, your heart hesitates, that is the moment when transformation is happening on the deepest level. Pain is the whisper that says, change is coming and you must be ready. It exposes weaknesses so you can strengthen them, reveals fears so you can confront them, and highlights limits so you can shatter them. Those who understand this truth do not run from pain. They lean into it, they embrace it, they allow it to guide them, they let it sculpt them into a stronger, wiser, more capable version of themselves. Pain tests your commitment, it challenges your determination, it forces you to face reality without illusions, and it demands that you rise above the easy way out. Every time you feel discomfort, remember that it is the universe or life itself, signaling that you are in the midst of growth, that you are evolving, that you are transforming from someone who tolerates mediocrity into someone who conquers challenges and achieves excellence. Pain is temporary, but the transformation it brings is permanent, and only those willing to endure it, to listen to its lessons, and to act in spite of it will ever experience the power that comes from moving through it rather than running from it. People respect results, not intentions. It is easy to talk about what you will do, to dream about what you want to achieve, to make promises to yourself and others about the future. Intentions feel good. They give you a sense of purpose, a momentary rush of hope, and a false sense of progress. But intentions alone are invisible. They do not change your life. They do not earn respect. They do not create impact. The world does not reward what you say you will do. It rewards what you actually do. Action is the language that success understands. You can intend to work hard, intend to change, intend to overcome, but until you translate that intention into concrete results, your efforts remain empty gestures. People notice results because results are proof. Results are evidence that you have faced challenges, that you have pushed beyond limits, that you have turned vision into reality. Results do not lie. They speak louder than any excuse, any plan, any explanation you could give. History remembers doers, not dreamers. Leaders, innovators, and legends are not celebrated for what they hope to achieve. They are celebrated for what they made happen. Intentions without follow-through are like seeds that are never watered. They hold potential, but they never grow. The world is not impressed by your plans, it is moved by your execution. Every accomplishment you earn, every milestone you reach, every challenge you overcome broadcasts to the world that you are serious, capable, and unstoppable. Those who rely only on intentions live in a cycle of talking, planning, and waiting. They never experience the fulfillment, respect, or influence that comes from tangible achievement. To gain respect, to command authority, to create opportunities, you must turn intention into action, thought into strategy, strategy into execution, and execution into measurable results. People may admire your vision in private, but in public, what matters is the proof you provide through results. Consistency is key. One result may be noticed, but repeated results build reputation, trust, and credibility. Intentions are fleeting, fragile, and easily forgotten, but results leave a legacy. Every action that produces change, every effort that creates impact, Every challenge you overcome signals to the world that you are serious about your growth and unwilling to settle for mediocrity. Respect is earned in the arena of action, where results speak the undeniable truth that you are not just a thinker, a dreamer, or a planner. You are a doer, a conqueror, and a force to be reckoned with. Your transformation begins the moment excuses die. Excuses are the chains that keep you bound to the weak version of yourself, the invisible walls that prevent you from stepping into your full potential. Every time you blame circumstances, other people, or even your own limitations, you are giving life to excuses, and with that life, you give power to the version of yourself that settles, hesitates, and fears. But the moment you stop justifying, the moment you refuse to rationalize inaction, that's the moment true transformation ignites. When excuses die, clarity is born. Suddenly, there is no room for hesitation, no space for fear, no weight of self-doubt holding you back. You begin to see opportunities where before you only saw obstacles, and challenges become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Transformation does not wait for permission, and it does not negotiate with weakness. It arrives when you take full responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your results. Every excuse you kill is a victory, a declaration to yourself and the world that you will no longer accept limitations that are not real, that you will no longer allow comfort, fear, or laziness to define your path. In that moment, the weak version of yourself begins to die, replaced by a version that is accountable, disciplined, and relentless. Action becomes automatic because the mind no longer seeks reasons to avoid it. Persistence becomes natural because excuses no longer cloud your judgment. Every challenge you face, every setback you encounter, and every resistance you meet is met with the unshakable determination of someone who has refused to let excuses dictate the course of their life. When excuses die, you begin to recognize that your power is internal, that your potential is infinite, and that the only thing standing between you and the life you desire was the permission you were giving to weakness. Transformation is not a distant goal. It is an immediate consequence of eliminating justification. It is the freedom to act without delay, the courage to endure without complaint, and the clarity to pursue your vision with ruthless focus. Every step forward after excuses die is not just progress. It is proof that you have chosen the path of strength, the path of growth, and the path of becoming someone unstoppable. Your mind sharpens, your focus intensifies, and your will strengthens in ways that excuses could never allow. The death of excuses marks the birth of resilience, the awakening of self-mastery, and the moment you realize that nothing external can hold you back when you refuse to hold yourself back. Listen carefully, because this is where everything you've heard today comes together. Transformation is not a whisper, it is a roar. It is not a suggestion, it is a command from your soul, demanding you step into the power that has always been yours. The weak version of yourself, the one who doubts, hesitates, complains, and settles, was never meant to stay. It was only meant to teach you what to leave behind, what to burn, and what to rise above. And now, the moment is here. The moment to kill that version of yourself, to shed the excuses, to silence the fears, and to step boldly into the life you were destined to live. Do not underestimate the power of a decision made with full awareness, because a single choice to refuse weakness, to refuse comfort, to refuse delay can change the trajectory of your entire life. The greats, the legends, the people whose names echo through history, they did not wait for perfect conditions. They did not negotiate with excuses. They did not linger in doubt. They acted relentlessly, unapologetically, with the fire of someone who knew that greatness is earned one brave step at a time. You must understand this. Your past does not define you. Your failures do not determine you. Your fears do not control you. They are only shadows, illusions that fade when you bring the light of courage, discipline, and relentless action into your life. Remember this. Do not pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one. Every obstacle you face, every moment that challenges you, every circumstance that seems impossible is a message telling you that transformation is happening. Pain is not punishment. It is the tool, the forge, the fire that shapes you. And when you step into that fire willingly, when you choose action instead of comfort, when you act despite fear, doubt, and hesitation, you will discover a strength within yourself that no one can take away. The world will notice you, not because of what you intended, not because of your words, but because of your results, because of the unwavering proof that you chose growth, courage, and excellence over mediocrity, excuses, and weakness. Do not wait another second for someone to give you permission. Do not wait for inspiration to magically appear. Do not wait for the stars to align. The stars align only for those who move, for those who act, for those who refuse to settle for less than their destiny. You are capable of more than you have ever imagined, more than your mind can comprehend, more than anyone has ever told you. But capability alone is useless without action, without persistence, without the daily, deliberate choice to be stronger than yesterday. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. This courage is not abstract, it is practical, it is tangible. It is the fire that burns in your chest when you refuse to back down, when you refuse to compromise, when you refuse to let the weak version of yourself survive another day. You must live intentionally. You must act decisively. You must embrace discomfort as a companion rather than an enemy, for it is in discomfort that the weak dies and the powerful rises. Discipline, focus, resilience, and relentless pursuit are your weapons, and your mind, body, and soul are the battlefield. Every small action compounds into massive results. Every choice to stand, every choice to fight, every choice to rise above builds the unstoppable version of you that the world will either fear or admire. You are not here to be average. You are not here to be comfortable. You are here to dominate your life, to claim your power, to crush limitations, and to build a legacy that outlives you. So I challenge you, I dare you, I command you to look in the mirror and see the weak version staring back. Thank it for its lessons, but do not give it another day of your life. Kill it with action, with discipline, with hunger for growth, with courage that refuses to yield. Rise as the person you are always meant to be, a person unstoppable, unshakable, and unforgettable. The fire inside you is waiting to be unleashed. Do not hold back. Do not apologize. Do not settle. Because the world belongs to those who act, to those who endure, to those who transform, and your time is now. Every step you take from this moment forward is a declaration that you refuse weakness, that you embrace power, and that you are here to win, to rise, and to conquer. Be relentless, be bold, be unstoppable. The weak version dies, and the strong, magnificent, extraordinary version of you is born. The choice is yours, and the world is waiting.